All right, welcome back. I didn't actually get to do a video last week. I was like completely swamped and a little bit fatigued from getting back into life. And I felt a little bit disappointed in myself. I was like, oh, I said I was going to do one every week and like stay on top of the flow and keep on a roll. But it's actually a great segue into the topic of this video, which is it all starts with self-love. And if I hadn't developed such a good relationship with myself, I would definitely be sitting here beating myself up, making myself feel guilty, like I am a bad person or like I'm not good enough, because I had to have a week off on something that should be fun. This shouldn't be something that I'm doing because I feel obligated. It should be about fun, and sometimes you need to rest. But yeah, I thought this video, it's actually a great example of self-love, is just taking a moment for yourself and realizing it's okay. There's nothing, you haven't done anything wrong. And I decided what I can do to kind of amend that is do 2 videos this week, which is a great compromise. And then instead of sitting there beating myself up, I took the time to rest, and now I feel energetic and can complete those 2 videos instead of having that time to try either push myself and make myself burnt out, or make myself feel guilty and then not do it at all and just like have complete paralysis shutdown. So yeah. Self-love is a thing that I have always really struggled with. I spent all my childhood, 10 years, really hating myself, making a lot of mistakes that affected me heavily and caused more self-hate. It was quite bad at some points that I would look at myself in the mirror and say, I hate you. And of course, self-love really is affected by how you talk to yourself. So I spent a lot of time working on that, and now I'm very kind. But when I first started trying to change this negative self-talk, I didn't believe it, of course. I had to look at myself in the mirror, even though it felt so cringe and horrible. But I had to say, I love you. You are beautiful. And of course I didn't believe it, but over time, I started to believe it, and I started being like, you know what? No, I love you. You've tried your hardest. Like, you've been through a lot. You've made some poor decisions because you didn't understand your brain and you didn't have any guidance and you were just a kid. So learning to love yourself, forgiving yourself, is like one of the most important things in life. Learning that you only get one life and you are your own best friend. You are the one that's supposed to support you the most. It's seriously important. You are the number one person that you should be speaking kindly to. And it does take time and it does take practice, especially if you come from a certain background that has an effect on that. But now I walk past the mirror and I'm like, got it, girl. Like, you're doing well. Like, no matter what, even like this YouTube video, for example, I'm wearing no makeup except a little bit of mascara and tinted moisturizer. The old me would never have left the house without full face of makeup, straightened my hair a million times, sucked in stomach, like perfect. Everyone needs to think I'm perfect. I'm perfect. Otherwise, I'm not worthy of what? And it's a sad thing that I know most people go through, and we are our own biggest critic. And I think being your own biggest critic is helpful to some extent, like having the awareness and drive for growth, like super important if you've got a hobby or a career that you're pushing for, but then also being able to applaud yourself when you're actually doing well. So vital. So yeah, now I really applaud myself wherever I can, even the smallest wins, like the tiniest things. Like today, even going, making the decision to go, I'm going to do the video whether I have put makeup on or not. You know, those kind of things. That's a win to me. The old me would never. So it's really important to remember, like, celebrate those small wins, because that's what helps build that positive self-talk, whether it's the tiniest thing. It could be the smallest thing, like you made your bed. Applaud yourself. Like, that positive self-talk is genuinely vital. And I think the looking in yourself in the mirror thing is genuinely so important. I think a lot of people that I know, most people I know do not talk to themselves in the mirror and say nice things. They're probably quite harsh, or they say nothing. And I think that a lot of people would benefit from just changing the inner narrative inside. And I spent a long time with that negative narrative. And it's even who you surround yourself with. I worked really hard on this positive mind frame, rewiring my brain, sending different messages, and then you slowly start to believe them. But then I started hanging out with someone quite negative. And then would you look at that? All of a sudden I started thinking those negative thoughts again. And I realized, and I had to remove myself from the situation, because I was like, that's not me. That's not who I've worked very hard to create. And yeah, I noticed a lot of those negative patterns coming through. So a lot of self-love actually also has to do with who you surround yourself with. You have to love yourself enough to remove yourself from different environments that don't harbor you in the way that you want. And that can be hard. I've left a lot of scenarios and places that, that it was I was very attached, and it's everything that I had created at that time in my life. But you have to not be afraid to put yourself first for once, to be like, hey, actually, let's go. Like, I deserve this. I've actually done it multiple times in my life, going, hey, actually, I know I deserve better than this. I'm going to go for it. And I think I'm going to go back to the forgiveness thing. It's like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I am worthy of forgiveness. And I am an aware person. It's not, I don't just make a mistake and go, oh well. It's like, I'm an aware person, and I constantly strive to better myself, and I'm aware of how my actions affect others, especially now in my adulthood. It's something that's super important to me. And I think another part of loving yourself is understanding that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of you. Like, you need to put yourself first. Your opinions matter. Sometimes it's easier to not even voice them, in a sense of, if you're not going to be met with somebody that's willing to listen and converse, knowing when to save your breath, but not thinking about what people think of you. That's okay. That's a normal human survival strategy. It's actually okay, but it's letting go of those thoughts. Oh, that person might think that I'm snobby because I've done this. Oh well, that's their thought. It doesn't matter what they think. Oh no, that person across the road's seen me do something embarrassing. Oh well, so what? Oh no, that picture of me isn't very good. I can't post that online. Oh, please delete it. That was one that I struggled with a lot. Who cares? You know what you look like. It's just a photo. It doesn't matter. Although it's easier said than done, because I spent years critiquing myself, and if it wasn't a good enough photo, no one could see it. And now I will purposely post stupid photos of myself online to laugh at, because I'm like, It doesn't matter. I know what I look like. It's just a photo. And I hope it actually makes someone laugh. And it's just a photo. It's just a memory. I try to always look at photos like a moment in time. When you're old, you're not going to give a single flying fuck about what you look like. You're just going to be like, well, that's me in that time. And it's just going to like actually be happy rather than like tearing yourself down. It's quite hard how superficial a lot of things in society like have done and created for people. It's something that I've struggled with my entire teenage years, trying to fit in and all that stuff. But yeah, like learning self-love is like the most important step for anything. Like learning to love yourself, like health-wise, learning to love yourself, so who you surround yourself with, whether you're going for a different job or better relationship or whatever these things are. It's like self-love is the most important thing. But yeah, I could have spent the day beating myself up, or the week beating myself up about not having done YouTube, but what would be the point? I do enough. I am enough, and even saying this right now, it's healing for me, because I still had the thoughts of, oh, why didn't you do it? Because I was dead. I was fatigued, and that's okay. It's not supposed to be, especially this one for me and my own experience right now, this is supposed to be something fun and to slowly build it that could potentially make me money later in life if I build it properly. But if I'm just constantly trying to make it something about money right now, then it's gonna burn me out and feel like shit. There's no point in me doing it, you know? I'd rather just not. So yeah, just taking a step back and slowing down and like giving yourself those applause, talking to yourself kindly, like looking at the bigger picture of everything that you've done, why you're doing it, and knowing that like you are enough no matter what. It is hard, but my biggest piece of advice is to start with the positive self-talk. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I guarantee you most people that watching this video, most people you know, do not do something like that. It really helped, and it really changed my life when I first started doing that. And like I said, I didn't believe it, and it felt fucking cringe when I first, like, it was horrible. I was like, oh, I love you. But then now I'm like, yeah, girl, I love you, girl. Because I do. I love myself. It's not up myself. It's nothing like that. I think a lot of people also feel scared to love themselves because it's like that tall poppy syndrome thing. Like, what? You love yourself? That's fucking crazy. Like, it's like this level of, if you're all the way somewhere like famous and you love yourself, you know, people will applaud that. But if you're just a normal person that was here with somebody and you go, actually, I love myself, they go, that's fucked. They're like, you shouldn't, like, you're being up yourself, calm down, humble yourself. But it's just because they want that too. They wish that they could say that about themselves, or they're just scared of like why you're doing that. They're like, that's crazy. And yeah, I've seen that quite a lot, and I've definitely had people judge me for, I don't know, being confident, not knowing where I come from and the struggles that I've been through to get to that point. So yeah, I think overall, like, my message is self-love is the key to anything. Like, it really all starts with self-love. Every single part of your day, your better attitude, physical health, everything. It even affects all the relationships around you too. You might actually lift people up around you by caring about yourself. And if you don't, then you know that you need to remove yourself from that circle. I really appreciate all the people that have helped me along my journey. It's been a wild one, but yeah, it's been nice to hear a lot of the affirmations about me inspiring other people to love themselves and to wear what they want and think for themselves. I think that's been like the most rewarding thing about having to do that on my own. Like, I've really had to learn all this stuff by myself, and I spent a lot of time, I spent a lot of time alone and traveling and doing things like that to build that within myself, and to see a lot of people around me, you know, reap some of those rewards and feel that confidence and feel me lifting them up, and now they can lift themselves up, is like super special. And it really does start with self-love, and you could even help other people around you too, which is like unbelievably special. It is one of the highest forms of like energy. It's just so amazing. Today I just completely went off the cuff. I had like written down a couple of notes, but I decided, I think that is also self-love, just trusting yourself, knowing that it'll kind of just flow out. I've always wanted to do some sort of talking, but I spent so many years squashing myself down. And I actually had like an epiphany when I was like 19. I said, I know that I need to help people or do something like talking, but I don't have that voice yet. And I've only just started to develop the voice and like trust it more. And I've still got a long way to go before it's really strong. I can feel it though, which is a lot better than before. But yeah, I think that even just doing a video like this just off the cuff is helping myself really trust that I know what I'm talking about, or that my opinions are valid and helpful to others, and I don't have to squash myself down anymore. And even if it does help one person, I think that's like seriously so special. And yeah, I've still got so much to do and learn that it's just like a part of the journey of self-love. And look, I still have to practice it. I still almost was mean to myself, but instead I chose kind words, which has been like, just really rewarding in itself. I'm feeling really happy and grateful today. And yeah, I just thank you for watching this video through, and I hope you have an amazing week, day, and I'll see you next time.